First Friday of the month of the, not the quarter. Today we're talking about GM's carrot on a stick. Is this salesman brave or stupid? And what's it like to be sued by your own shareholders?
Ouch.
I mean, that's happened. I guess Elon's been sued by his own shareholders. It's a different thing. A little more context, though. A little more context.
More context.
How you feeling on Friday? Is there soccer going on right now?
There's soccer going on right now. I may or may not have it in one ear. I'm kidding. I don't have it in one ear, but yes, the U.S. men's national team actually has a bit of a shot at making it through this round. So it's
how many rounds? How many more rounds are they? If they make it through this round, where does it put them?
4. So this is quarterfinals.
Okay. Okay. So they could be in the semifinals.
Yeah.
It's gonna be 1 in 4 shot.
Could be crazy.
Good. I mean, look, once you get to the semifinals, right? Only one of those 4 teams isn't medaling, right?
I know.
So if you get there, it's pretty good chances you're going to medal.
Could be wild. Yeah.
When was the last time the men's team medaled?
Never.
Oh, wow. So this would be like a massive deal.
Yeah. All of it would be a massive deal. It's still like pretty far shot.
Hey, anything can happen. We saw the thing about that. There was that hockey team the one year. It's like,
Yep. You never know. It's the Olympics.
It's the Olympics. Anything could happen. We learned that over this Olympics. Right. We have a new Auto Collabs episode dropping today. Auto Collabs is one of our other podcasts, a little bit longer form, a little bit deeper conversation. It streamed yesterday. It's out on all the platforms today. Basically, we're talking with our friend Nick Shaffer. We had this conversation about applying farmer principles to the service drive, like harvesting versus hunting. It was a really great conversation. And Nick is just a really sincere guy. So check that out. Also, we have a webinar coming up next Tuesday or this Tuesday, I guess. This Wednesday.
Yep.
On the 7th, 2 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be, we're going to make the cars rule more fun than it's ever been made.
That's it.
I guess. Not made fun of it. Make it fun. Go to ASOTU.com. If you've never been to one of our quick webinars, you need to check it out. It's different than any other webinar you've been to. We promise. ASOTU.com. It's right there, top of the fold. You can register. If you don't get everything you ever dreamed or desired out of this webinar, we will give you 100% of your money back.
Every dollar that we have. Every dollar. We're going to a pretty special place on Monday.
That's right.
We are going back to, we've got some good friends over there at the Mohawk organization, and we've got a little bit more filming to do for an episode of More Than Cars. And if you haven't seen, you should go to check out their TikTok and their Instagram and check out what they've been doing with their mini series called The Dealership. Looks like actually they got the opportunity to hang out at Chevy headquarters. We saw this social media post yesterday from the team there. You got Nathaniel, Grace, the whole 9 yards there, and so I'm excited.
It's Ben on the right.
Yeah,
Ben's the editor. Grace and Ben.
Ben. That's right.
Yeah, kind of primaries in the show. You didn't see all the people, and there's Mary Barra in there too.
And Mary Barra,
she's in there. What? Yeah, it's an awesome situation where a dealership who has been making content for years, Nathaniel Greklick's been leading the charge there for years. They've been working at it. They finally made something. It popped. They've been in Ad Age. They've been invited to the Today Show. They've been invited to all the stuff, USA Today, Business Insider, and they got an invite to GM corporate headquarters. So we'll be there. We'll see. We'll get the details on the story when we're with them in person on Monday. But that's going to be so much fun. Speaking of General Motors,
segue
time. Right in.
Hit it.
GM is revamping its U.S. salaried employee performance ratings to reward top performers more generously and pressure low performers to improve or leave. Under the new system, the top 5% of employees can now receive a 150% bonus. That's significant.
That's real.
Whoa. An internal memo says, quote, to ensure GM has the talent needed to achieve our ambitious goals, a more intentional process is required that sets clear expectations for performance and holds people accountable. Accountability works, if you didn't know. Employees are now rated on a 5-scale evaluation. So it's like significantly exceeds expectations, achieves expectations is in the middle, partially meets or does not meet. They believe that approximately 70% of all its employees will fall right in the middle, achieves, which I guess makes sense, right? They will receive 100% of their target bonus, but if you start moving up the ladder, you can get up to 150% of the bonus.
Wow.
Similar adjustments being made in Ford. Jim Farley had a quote in this article, and he basically said, we've come to realize, this isn't an exact quote, but it was something like this. We've come to realize that having the right talent doesn't work. You need the right performance structure in place with the right talent in order for it to work.
So they feel incentivized. I mean, to be honest, like dealerships have been doing this for a hot minute. The high performers get paid the most money, commissions, all that type of stuff. But this is, obviously the competitive matrix of some of these new companies coming to market definitely changes the ball game for legacy OEMs that are trying to attract talent and not just attract talent, but keep talent, right? Make sure that they don't get poached. Hey, look, a top 5%er of a big company like that should get rewarded.
It's pretty. I wonder if the team from Mohawk Chevrolet, if they're in the mix. I mean, they're not GM employees technically.
Yeah, they're not GM employees. So,
but they are. They probably could be at this point for at least the moment.
Something like that.
Speaking of something like that.
Oh,
all right, we need you to weigh in on this one.
Hit the comments.
If you're in the comments or if you see this afterwards. So a New Orleans man, because I mean, it's so relevant right now because we're all going to New Orleans in January, right? We're hitting New Orleans. NAD is going to be there. It's about a New Orleans dealership. A New Orleans man was arrested, not a dealership employee, after attempting to steal an Audi during the test drive on a couple days ago in, I don't know. I'm not even going to say that. Right near New Orleans. New Orleans Audi. The suspect, Reginald Vaughn, encountered an unexpected resistance, though, from the dealership employee who was with him on the test drive. The car thief stopped the Audi abruptly during the test drive and said, basically, this is where you get out or I shoot you. It's basically what he said.
Goodness.
And he started reaching for his waistband. The dealership employee, did he get out? He didn't get out. So this is where we're like, is this brave or stupid? After a short struggle, obviously the guy was reaching for something and he grabbed his arms and he held his arms down. And then they actually got in, started exchanging blows in the car. A bystander ran over and brought some attention to it. So Vaughn, the suspect, fled the scene, but was later arrested because he ran into an urgent care facility. It's not the best place to hide. Jordan Cox on our team, his commentary said the only reason the employee fought back is he needed the sale to reach his end of month quota.
Look, if you're on that end of the month bonus, you're going to stop a guy shooting you in the middle.
You will
of the
buy
street,
this car.
I mean? Look, that's strong. I'm telling you what, that's impressive. Sounds like a very New Orleans thing to do, in my opinion, right?
I guess.
But
what?
Hey, I'll tell you what, this has been a topic of conversation for a very long time when it comes to employees in test drives with strangers, right? Many dealerships now are putting a lot more safeguards in place pre-test drive, as far as doing background checking, doing quick checks on driver's licenses, all that, because you
prior to especially if you have a female employee.
Yep, exactly. I remember female employees that would straight up just say, hey, look, I don't feel comfortable on this test drive. And so we would send someone else on that test drive. And we just had a policy that wasn't like a split deal or anything. It just was what it was. It's, if you really stop and think about it for a quick minute, in 2024, jumping in the car with a stranger who you met 3 minutes ago.
It's called Uber.
Is a bit, yeah.
I mean, but the Uber's been vetted, right?
The Uber's been vetted.
There's a rating, level,
right? Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Wild. I know.
Kudos,
so what do you think? I don't know. Let us know. Brave or stupid? I think you don't know what you're going to do in that situation until it comes up. You have no clue. Right?
Adrenaline goes.
Do you this flight kick in, right? We're like, I'm out, right? Or are you just react
it's straight up fight or flight. That's all it is.
It really is. Speaking of fight or flight.
That's it.
I think they chose fight on this one.
So CrowdStrike, the one that went down in history for basically stopping all of Delta, is being sued by its shareholders for a global software outage on July 19th that crashed over 8 million computers worldwide, claiming that CrowdStrike misled investors about the adequacy of its software testing. The lawsuit claims CrowdStrike failed to disclose deficient update controls and inadequate software testing, which created a substantial risk of major outages and ultimately caused significant reputational and legal harm to the company. So the shareholders become impacted. The share price has fallen by 32%. And a CrowdStrike spokesperson said, "We believe this case lacks merit and will vigorously defend the company."
I mean, so obviously this is
Naturally.
super relevant because, I mean, like the CDK thing is still fresh in our minds. Similar, not an exact situation, right? Very different situations, but a situation where software went down and there's a lot of rigmarole and a lot of contention over who's liable for it. In this case, we have shareholders stepping up saying like the company didn't do a good enough job to let us know. Like they made us think that all these things were locked down, they were tested, they were fine. They weren't. And I think this is going to be a continued reality check for companies to have to be more careful and intentional about what they're doing and why. I think one of the best social media posts I saw from this is just somebody, and I don't know if it was real or fake in the background, but it was like CrowdStrike headquarters, like front door. And it was a guy like giving the peace sign, and the copy said, you know, first day on the new job, just pushed a little update and taking the rest of the day off.
That's wrong.
It was wrong, but we'll see where this falls out. I mean, Microsoft had a comment on this in the article, and they said, well, it did only affect 1% of all Microsoft computers.
Right.
Which is kind of a weird argument. Just the only 1% that millions of people relied on.
Yes.
Right. This isn't like
it was a 1% of business of enterprise business software primarily. And
that's it? Or the 1%? No, it said of all Microsoft.
The 1% impacted a software service that primarily enterprise businesses
was
used.
Like a much bigger percent. Yeah, this wasn't like the elementary school computer lab.
Exactly.
You know, it was like Kyle can't get to my place in Syracuse because Delta is down.
Crazy.
I think that's my big beef. That's my biggest beef with
That's
CrowdStrike.
What we're most mad about. I wanted to go to Syracuse so bad.
It's going to happen. You know what? We have been very, very fortunate with flights. So all the traveling we've done.
Yeah, both of us are normally very fortunate compared to the stories that I hear.
You got kind of stuck once, and that was due to weather, but you got stuck like at home.
Yep.
I got stuck in DC once, but aside from that, like we always made it home.
Yep.
I don't know. I'm going to jinx us now.
Don't stop it.
We hope you have an amazing Friday, an amazing Saturday, selling some cars if you're working, Sunday selling some cars if you're working, or if you're resting, whatever you're doing, we got your back. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning.